Wow. That's a lot of people. Watching the video from as an outsider, it gives me a little bit of anxiety.
So just by looking at it, I didn't think that it looked so bad.
It's quite interesting, but then I find the sport to be a very dangerous one.
From what I've seen of this food, it seems...
Yeah, but if I have to tell you my personal opinion, I don't find the sport interesting.
I'm glad actually that the bulls are not hurt. Fairly harmless.
It's pretty short.
It's totally different from what I'm used to. So I think it's a lot to take in.
I don't know. It doesn't seem that sort of humane, but
I think there's no problem with this event at all.
It's fucking crazy.
It seems that the bull is confused.
It seems more like strength show between man and bull.
Looks like they're a little bit nervous, like, what's going on? Everyone's always really nice to me and now they're trying to catch me.
The animal cruelty, I don't know.
You know, how different is it from like the rodeo in Canada where people ride bulls, but for some reason this does look worse.
I've worked with cows for the last 2 months and I have to say they're so sensitive animals. They're really sensitive to feelings and to stress, and if things in their routine change, they get really stressed out.
Like if the bull didn't want to come out, it didn't have to come out. It was just like standing there and people were just like waiting. And it just like stepped a little bit outside and somebody took it and then just rushed through. And most of the people were like, no, I'm not gonna touch it.
I don't think the bulls are happy. I don't think they're, they seem scared when they're released, and then they're just assaulted by people from all angles, even if the people are more likely to get hurt, so.
It seems like a fun thing, and the amount of people that got behind this.
I'm not seeing anything weird about this. Of course, it's a little bit weird for Iceland.
This sport is a no for me. I mean, did you see how the white bull came up and was trying to tread upon someone, one of the guys? It's extremely dangerous.
I mean, it's not very nice to the animals, but I mean, if you compare it to like the meat industry or the milk industry, I think that the meat industry is much worse.
But like, if you put it in a human perspective, I wouldn't want to be locked up somewhere and have to run between some people.
There are many other things in the world that I worry more about, like, the industry, how animals are slaughtered all over.
Probably the animals don't want it, but from the side of animal, I think it's pretty short time.
We have a lot worse sports, like fighting of the chicken, like the arena in Spain, where they kill animals, where they let them fight. So for me, it's not okay, but it's not as worse.
Well, it doesn't look like the bull's very happy. I don't really believe that the bull understands what's going on there.
The bull is part of the family. Why don't they let the youngest son run through there and everybody jumps on him? I mean, it's a non-argument.
If this is 20 seconds of a bull's life, if you compare that to a whole life in captivity in the meat industry.
And also, if it's growing up in these circumstances, it should know what's going to happen. And
in the grand scheme of animal cruelty, it doesn't seem that bad, especially when people are okay with the meat industry and the leather industry and so on. So,
watching it does kind of feel like animal cruelty, to be honest.
Does the bull feel well doing it?
Yeah, it looks like they're a little bit nervous.
The bull doesn't really know what's going on. The bull reacts as an animal according to its instinct.
How can a bull understand why people hang on them?
Animals doesn't see it as a game. He sees it as people jumping onto it to probably harm it. It doesn't think like human beings.
The fact itself of jumping behind the bull and things like that doesn't seem to me so so wrong. I mean, not wronger than mass production of animals.
They're not living a bad life. If I would be a part of a family and once a year I would have to run through a crowd and about 10 meters, 20 meters, and someone would try to grab onto me and I would have to try and shake them off and get to the other side with no one on my back, it would be no problem for me. It would, of course, it would be a boring, not the best day, that one day in the year. I mean, I don't necessarily support it, but I don't support it. I'm not saying this sport shouldn't be allowed.
I don't think it's too bad.
Yeah, I actually don't know.
I don't know why they would not allow this. I'm not seeing the bull getting hurt in any way.
I'm absolutely not supporting it. No, not at all.
I mean, I don't see any value in it because I wouldn't go to an event. I don't think that it looked so nice.
I've seen bulls treading upon people, and I think it's dangerous in as much as I was interested. I don't think.
I mean, if you stop that sport, it could probably be that they're not treated as good as now the whole year long.
Honestly, I would not get very involved into a sport like this.
Everybody should be entitled to have their own opinion. PETA, without an exception.
With regard to the conspiracy theory, it sounds a bit far-fetched.
It is a very big deal.
You probably can find out which bull is the strongest by using different kind of tests and not recreational means.
And with the huge public outcry.
The amounts of people that were protesting against us.
And then not to mention the protests.
It's really beautiful. They just turn the lights off and everybody takes up something to light up and, so they can be seen and heard. And I mean, they're showing the government they're not going to be pushed away.
Most of the people, they loved it. It's like the thousands of years culture.
I mean, you come here, we slaughter all these cows and eat hamburgers and get fat. How does that affect you? I mean,
it doesn't seem like a big dramatic, I don't know, once a year.
If it has real big value for the culture, maybe.
If this thing just happens once a year and it has such great significance.
It's only once a year.
So dangerous, but then it's come to think of it as once a year.
I'm on two sides.
If people find it very interesting and if it has a value for them, cultural value and stuff.
when I eat a hamburger, it's like 1 billion people that, dislike what I'm doing at that time. Should I do it? Maybe. Maybe I should just give a fuck about it.
I wouldn't want the cow to be nervous, but I mean, sometimes people get nervous. We take our kids and get them vaccinated, and then we take them again, and they are nervous for a little bit of time, but we always treat them well after that.
The British therapy is not illegal. Even in Spain, there's bullfighting and stuff like that. So I mean, it's funny that a PETA can influence a whole country like India, which has rich traditions and billion people.
And I think that nobody has really this power to tell another person, another group of people, this is wrong, this is right.
I don't think I would have any right, though, to tell those people what they can or cannot do.
It's not really our place to tell them to stop.
I mean, how could I, criticize that? If I go to, when I was little, I went to a farm. We lived in a farm, and I went horseback riding.
It's so important for them that sports let them get hurt. Yeah. Let it be.
I think the decision to stop it would have to come from the people, and obviously the people don't want it to stop.
They should progress with the sport, go forward.
It's important for the people, it's important for the pride, for the tradition, and you should keep traditions as well.
So I think you should keep this sport.
I would not have decided to ban this sport.
It should be regulated better than this.
I don't think it should be banned, no.
I'm not seeing the reason to ban this sport.
Maybe it's better just to allow it to go ahead for the time being.
Maybe it isn't that bad.
I don't think I would ban it.
You're supposed to be able to do whatever you want to do.
If people want to do it, they should do it.
Now, maybe the people get some protective clothing or something that will protect them from being attacked by the animals.
Maybe it would be better if it was less aggressive towards the animal.
Shouldn't be so many people in the ring. I think they should, because there were so many people who they weren't gonna jump on the bull. They were just in the ring, just to be there, it looked like. So it should be like minimized, maybe only 50 people in the ring or something.
Someone hanging on the bull's back or on that hump, and people are yelling. That's a lot of stress. And if you want to stop hanging on the bull and stop the yelling, then it's not sports anymore. Then it's just a bull walking.
Maybe having, a less immediate crowd of people surrounding the animal, but that seems to be an integral part of it. So
Maybe if people would scream less while the cows were running, it would be easier for the cows.
Yeah, of course, they could wear helmets and like more protection on their bodies.
Yeah, that's true that there are people injured, and that is somehow, I think, it's dangerous.
I don't think it would bother me if somebody got hurt. It would be sad, obviously, but that's something that you do with your own risk.
I would not be supportive if my dad would be like, hey, I'm just going out to fight a bull, get us some money. Of course I would want to have my dad home, rather. So I could see it like from the point of view of the kids or the family of the husband.
There was a few moments when I was genuinely like, wow, when sort of worried for the people, but for the bull.
They need to do is to make it more human friendly.
There was a moment when the bull was throwing his head up and then the guy almost falls on its horn.
Their movements are so quick. It's like just a little bit of movement. It's so quick, and it's like you can see the human just like.
Yeah, I thought it looked very dangerous for the people.
I think it's more dangerous for humans than bulls. People should more be fighting like leave the humans alone.